Look! They've turned it on. Can you see them?
Oh, yeah. What is it?
It's a U.
Ah, a U. What's a U?
Let's find out.
Hello, you. Who are you?
Oh, forgive us, but how would you like to be addressed?
Oh, I like this one. Right, now we're all here. It's time for a story.
But how should it begin? Let's see what's inside this box. Okay. This looks more interesting.
Oh, rubbish. No. No! No, you've got to be kidding me.
There is nothing for us here.
What?
There is nothing in this story box for anyone.
You're right. Where's the off button? You! Yes, you!
We need your help.
Show us the way.
Shine your light on our world. That's it. Now it's time to unite our worlds.
There! A message!
An invitation from our world to yours. At last, now a real story can begin. This story needs a heroine.
Or a hero?
The message must become a messenger. This one is called Atoi. They've got a message just for you. Shine your light on them. Let them know you are there.
Maybe try that on something else. Oh, look at that.
I think they liked it too.
Ooh, use the warmth of your light again. Oh, yes. You're really breathing life into this world.
You've got their eye. I think they will follow your lead now.
Use your light to guide them.
Hello, welcome to my new Let's Play. This is going to be a very chill playthrough of Tearaway Unfolded. I'll be doing everything that I can do, so there'll be some side quests that don't get done because I find them kind of annoying. But for the most part, I'll be doing everything. I'll be exploring the world fairly well.
Let's see where they're going.
At the moment, we have to control Iota by Atoi, rather. I normally play as Iota, so I'm a bit confused. You normally have at the moment you have to control them by shining the light on the screen and follow the light.
Heed the squirrels.
The truth is written on their tongues.
creating a way through to the Use world.
Atoi! That's where you must deliver your message.
Let the U guide you there.
And now we no longer have to use the light to maneuver them, now we can maneuver them ourselves with our actual analog stick, which makes things much easier. But we can still use the light, which of course is the light from the controller on the PS4. And there'll be a lot it does with the controller as the game goes on, and a few things with a few peripherals that I don't personally own. So there'll be some things I won't be able to show off, but the game will kind of explain them itself. Also, I quite like that everyone kind of worships the light if you shine it on, and that's really cute. I'm going to be exploring all of the worlds as best I can, or all the levels rather. It's just there'll be some side missions that are just a bit of a pain. One particular type that I just won't be bothering with because it's so annoying trying to do it. Because it requires you to be good at the combat, and I am not very good at the fighting in this game at all. But I quite like the way the game looks. The whole papercraft aesthetic is very well put together. I'm trying to show off all the NPC dialogue and everything like that. So this is kind of what we can do right now is listen in. They won't talk to us directly. Just a quick glance around at the area as we have it. But we'll have a chance to fully explore this a little bit about now.
Twig! Oh my!
That wasn't scary. But this story does need some villains.
What's wrong with crows? Crows are terrifying.
Flimsy man! No. We need something new. Something evil from the Use world. Something like these. Look at them all pouring in. That will give this story a nasty twist.
And what are they called exactly?
Scraps! Horrible little things.
I quite like them slamming into the camera, that's rather cute.
Oh, actually, this is a right cauliflower pickle.
It looks like these people need your help.
Also, the music with them is really good. I love this game because it gets very meta, but for now it's fairly basic. But I quite like how the narrators have an interplay with them, like they disagree quite a lot. Like the guy really wants to keep things simple and just have a nice sort of story, but the other narrator is just a little bit more elaborate with how she likes the stories to go, like wanting actual antagonists and things like that, and the actual conflict. Like he's babysitting you, she wants to really give you a challenge. Of course, a lot of what we do right now is shining light on them. And we've already seen we can hypnotise the scraps, and they'll follow the light completely, so let's use that to our advantage, shall we? Yeah, one of the more common ways of dealing with scraps early in the game is forcing them to kill themselves by jumping into pits and things. There are other things we can do as well, though. Like the light will make these vines go away, and also, if you shine the light on the scraps and on an object, it can make them attack the object. Because they're following the light. And here we also, I quite like this sort of section because it shows you how all the ways the light will interact with the world. Like here, this part teaches you that some parts of the environment will lift if you shine the light on them. It's quite a fun little tutorial segment. It's a very kind of comprehensive tutorial without a lot of text boxes as well.
Both. You drove away the scrappy eye boxes, but I suspect they have more tricks under their lids.
All right, this is my story. Right. Now, the stage is set. Our actors are chosen. Your role is to guide Atoi and help her deliver her message. Head for the hole in the sky.
Good luck.
It's my story. Good luck.
I like how kind of childish the male narrator is. He's just a very kind of petulant kind of guy. He wants his story to go a particular way, but that way is just a little bit uninteresting, so she's kind of there to pick things up. Now these little things are there to help us jump, and they're quite cute. And yeah, these are side things, side objectives. The blue presents are side quests, the red presents are just collectibles. Here's the first main side quest of the game. Go through gophers and basketball hoops. That's fun. Yeah, the longer you hold the button, the higher he tosses them. Or she tosses them, well, again, I'm used to playing as Iota instead of Atoi. I normally play as him. Doesn't make any difference, except for in the dialogue, but yeah. And here is the first of many presents we'll find throughout the game. Some of them fairly well hidden. This is kind of showing us one of the way these things can both help us and get in our way, rather. I quite like we have little critters in them as well. That's really cute. This is quite a tricky one to throw into, because you need to be at a particular angle, and it's a very specific angle you need. You have to be pretty much dead on and at a particular distance, otherwise it just will miss the basket or it'll fall short. Like, that just keeps going slightly to the left or right of it. It's kind of annoying, this basket. But it's really the only time we ever have to be this precise with the throwing mechanic, which is fine. And it's just introducing, getting us used to the idea, and there we are. I like the little hearts as well when you do one of those little side quest things. They're quite cute. You may notice that big white thing in the distance. We'll be dealing with that later. And sometimes objects will fold open to reveal certain things like panels to jump on, or paths we can take. So there's our first side quest complete with shot hoops. Now, one thing I won't be bothering to do, along with a particular kind of side quest that you'll be seeing in later videos, is I won't be collecting every single little piece of confetti which are the little things that the presents release that add into that counter. Confetti is effectively a currency. We can use it to buy things that we'll see by the end of the video. But there's a lot of confetti, some of it optional, and if I went to try and collect all the confetti in the entire game, it will get quite tedious because some of them are very out-of-the-way places. I'll show off some more interesting puzzles for some interesting bits of confetti, like unique interactables, that kind of thing, but I will not be going for every single scrap. That would be silly. I mean scrap of confetti, not scraps themselves. That's a completely different meaning. But let's grab an apple and head up this little hill. Time for the side quest. They want this apple. Let's give it to them. This game's a lot of visual charm, and the music's really great as well, and I quite like how the story will play out. But for now, we're getting an introduction to a lot of mechanics, like a lot of interesting ways to use the bounce pads, like getting those little circular things. And then there's that very conspicuous blue orb that they're playing with, we'll be seeing the meaning of that. Because that's one of the unique scraps that I mentioned that I'll be actually bothering to do some of. Not with that particular orb, but just remember those orbs exist. I quite like these little NPCs that are just off doing stuff. It's really adorable and quite charming. And these little flower things will actually, like, will bounce you up. And I quite like that the water gives you a bit of a ramp to get up there as well. I'd forgotten it did that, so it's really cute. Now, the platforming is very basic this early on, but it's only just teaching us the bounce pads. It will actually get very complex later on and very in-depth. This is just introducing one aspect of it. So first, before we do anything with this ball, we'll head through here. Through the presents. Whoops. But falling down there gave us an opportunity. There was another way up. A slightly more complicated route. I quite like this little puzzle kind of a thing to get up these areas. Because it gets you very good at using the bounce pads and building momentum with them and things. There we go. I quite like all the sound effects, like everything not just looks like paper, but sounds like it as well. Like all the rustling when you change the newspaper to its actual design, that kind of thing. I also quite like that the scraps basically work by removing all the pretense from the world, like they reveal the actual makings of it. And yeah, this is one of the unique sets of scraps. Filling in the eyes in these statues allows them to open so we can collect the scraps within. These are actually the last two sets of scraps I ever found in the entire level when I 100%ed it on a previous playthrough. I didn't know that was even a thing you could do. So now it's time for customization. Let's find a mouth that looks quite interesting. Because the basic mouths are there, but they're basic. Don't know what that butterfly-like one is, but I quite like this stitched one, so we'll add that there. This is what the confetti does. It allows us to buy different things, and whoops, I accidentally put a mouth where I didn't want one. So now it's time to see what else we can do. If we switch to the leftmost icon, as I'll figure out now, we can actually delete parts of our body as well as we're adding to them. The decoration mechanic is quite adorable, but to avoid stalling the entire game, we'll only really be doing it when the game makes us.
Your friends can use the PlayStation app as another window into this world to help you on your journey and send in fresh photos and cuttings.
I won't be doing that because I don't have the app or any companion devices. Just know there is that social aspect of the game. If someone else has the game and the same accessories and PS Plus and everything like that, then we can share aspects of the world with them. I have no idea how it works because I haven't actually seen it myself, and I'm only really going up here, not for the scraps, because again I'm not really bothering with those, but for the dialogue. I quite like how as this world goes on, in this very first video, we're getting more and more control over the situation. Like now we can actively talk to people instead of just eavesdropping on them. We can also wake them up as well, the people that are sleeping in the audience, which is rude. It's time for a fun little section. We have a light. So we actually have to actively follow the play with our spotlight. We can't let him leave it. I don't know what happens if he leaves it, because it's never happened to me. And yeah, this game has very heavy reliance on motion controls with the PS4, but only where it won't get you killed in stupid ways. I quite like this sort of story as well. Just generally the lore in this world's quite cute. There's a lot of symbolism going on here as well with the overall story as well, like starting off helping out the actual story, but now we have to go backstage. Because of course this isn't just a story, it's a story about stories. So there's a lot of behind the scenes work going on as well as the story goes on. But he's lost his crown, so it's time to actually draw one with my finger. I'm going to be doing my best to make them look as good as I possibly can, given its kind of wonky controls and everything like that on the touchpad. So I'm going to actually put some effort into how they look, because I want things to look nice for the LP. Like, on my actual thing, I kind of didn't really care much. But we're keeping the jewel a separate object for now, because then we can just add it to the crown like this, and then when you highlight the crown, it highlights the entire thing. It's a nice little crown. And of course you can place things on any part of the characters, so you can just place it directly over the crotch if you want to, if you're being an idiot, but... Oh no, the scraps have ruined the stage. But we've already seen what a light can do about that. I quite like seeing the entire stage fold out as well, like a book. It's very fun to watch. Yeah, the male narrator is called the Green Man. I quite like that the camera's just the paper the photos will end up being on in an envelope. It's really adorable. That walking downwards there was me trying to zoom in with the right analog stick, but that just moves the camera around. And yeah, of course, we can selfie as well. I quite like this girl photobombs you on the first one, that's really cute. There's just a lot of personality to this game.
Ah! It's Atoi, our messenger. And I see you're still with us. Out there, peering in, prodding buttons. Now, about this message delivery business. That hole up there is impossibly high. The trees in the orchard ahead can help you, but first, you must help them. Clear out the scraps. Bring back light and colour. Bring back music. This orchard needs a good party. Make it a wassailing to remember. Now get up there.
And now we have formally met our first narrator, the Green Man. But first, we have a camera. So now we can actually deal with those white things we were seeing around earlier. Because they're actually a new type of collectible we can play with now that we have the camera. And they're actually one of the more interesting ones for this game because you can actually connect this game to your printer. And what these collectibles do when you fill them in by taking a photo is they actually unlock, as you see on the bottom right corner there, what will effectively be a blueprint. So we could actually download the blueprints, print them off as and make an actual papercraft model of that character object in real life. I haven't done it because I can't connect my PlayStation to a working printer, but it's nice that the option's there, and it's a very charming idea because I quite like that in this game, unlike in other papercraft style games, you can see something and go, hey, I can actually have that character on my desk in real life if I can connect properly and make it happen. You know, it's a thing that the game actually has a built-in way of allowing, and that's really charming. So let's get the rest of those white things that we've been ignoring up to this point. And also got a few scraps on the way down as well. Also, I quite like this aspect here. These actually unfurl and they're all sort of shortcuts to get back up again. So we don't have to worry about taking the platforming all the time. So of course there's our next one. But unfortunately it's out of range, so let's have to get a bit closer, shall we? I quite like the camera kind of works as a makeshift first person mode as well. That's quite adorable. But now we have an actual character we can build. There's another one over here. You can just see it poking out behind the bushes. Again, they're a little too far away. Let's have to get a bit closer, shall we? It's really about proximity and not framing. Like, as long as you're close enough, even if there's a lot of stuff in the way, you can still take a good picture of whatever it is you're looking at.
Look at this. It's Atoi's journal of how things are progressing. This'll let you continue your adventure, or revisit parts of it. There's all sorts of information and memories in here. Have a leaf through it.
I also quite like the menu as well. It's very charming.
Tearaway.me website, and through the power of the internet, you can see other use photos and paper crafts.
But yeah, this is just showing off the actual status menu, so we can see all the collectibles we've collected. Of course, we've collected everything but the scraps, so it's time to move on to the next level. The levels, of course, since this is a massive book, are called bookmarks. That's the first of them. Let's take our little shortcuts back up. And just reform a few leaves, because why not? Adds a little visual flair. This game definitely has a lot of charm, and I quite like that it has these kind of moments of quiet reflection, so you can just enjoy the world itself and all of the visuals. I quite like all of the enemies pouring into the hole in the sky as well. That little visual's kind of neat as well, to show you just how much peril the stories put you in. These enemies aren't going to stop coming until we get to the hole in the sky. The scraps are going to be a very constant thorn in our side. I quite like as we leave the stage, we get a lot of little billboards and things like that. And of course that little hop down means we can't get back up again. We're now locked out of that first level. I quite like this little, like, the little billboard has the crown you drew on it, that kind of, like, everything you draw in some way adds to the world around you, and that's very, very fun. In some ways it's on a personal level, and sometimes it's on a much bigger level, but since this is our story, everything we do affects it. So this is the second chapter, we'll be seeing that next time. I hope you've enjoyed this first very chill chapter, and it's time for things to get a little bit more interesting in this next one, so goodbye. See you next time.